What's going on, guys? Robby here. In today's video, I want to share with you some of the biggest takeaways that I learned in my business in 2022. So let's get into it right now. What's going on, guys? Robby here. Hope you're doing fantastic and having an awesome day wherever you are in the world. And the reason why I wanted to make this brand new video here on my channel is because we are at the end of 2022. And probably by the time we release this video, it will be 2023, is my guess. But if it isn't, doesn't matter, right? Because the biggest thing I want to share today are a few takeaways that I learned over the past year in my business. And so every time when we get towards the end of the year in December or so, I like to kind of sit down and reflect on what went good in my business and what did not go good in my business and what I can improve on going forward in the following year. Now, as you'll learn as an entrepreneur, it's never a straight line to success, right? There's gonna be some dips, there's gonna be some valleys, there's gonna be some ups and downs, and good months and bad months, and that's okay. That's all part of the process. And what you have to do is analyze everything. Hey, what went well, what did not go well, and what can I improve on? And so I wanna share some of those takeaways that I've learned over the past year that's helped me and some of the things that can help you as well. So let's get into it right now. So the first thing that I learned, one of the biggest takeaways this year in 2022 that I learned in my business was to focus. So back in 2021, when I first was kind of getting into that year, I had a lot of different projects going on, right? I was trying to do a lot of different ways to advertise my product and my program and my course. And because of that, because I was trying to do a challenge, because I was trying to do a webinar, because I was trying to do all these different things, what would happen is I would get distracted. I feel like I was working hard. Sometimes I felt like I was overworking, but I wasn't getting the traction that I wanted to have. And so what I did in 2022 was different. I said, you know what, I'm not gonna focus on running challenges or doing this or doing that. All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna focus head on working on my webinar and just getting that optimized and getting that to work, right? And so that's what I did. And actually, I had a much, much better year, not just from a production standpoint, but also from a financial standpoint in my business in 2022 compared to 2021, even though I did less things and even though I didn't reinvent the wheel or try new stuff. And it was because I focused. And that's my advice to you, right? If you want to be in affiliate marketing, which we talk about a lot on this channel, then focus on one thing. If it's Facebook, then focus on Facebook. If it's YouTube, focus on YouTube, right? What you can't do or shouldn't do is try to bounce around with too many different things because you get distracted. You'll feel like you're getting a lot of work done, but you won't be moving the needle as much as you'd like to do, right? So number one thing I would say is focus on one thing at a time. Another big takeaway for 2022 for me and my business was to not pay for so much coaching and to not go to too many events and to just focus on my business. Now, I know the first takeaway was focus, and this is a different type of focus, right? Because one of the things that I see a lot of is a lot of people, they just kind of become like information hungry, right? They sign up for the latest mastermind, the latest coaching program. They try all these different things. And that's fine, right? Don't get me wrong, because being part of a mastermind is important. I think it can make a big difference in your success. For me personally, every year I've been part of a mastermind or a coaching program. But one of the things I did in 2021, which I thought was a mistake, is that I was going all over the place, right? I probably spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, honestly, on coaching programs and masterminds and starting something and stopping something. It was just a lot of distraction, right? And even events. I would go to all these different events and network with people and everything like that. And in 2022, I did the opposite, right? I didn't really sign up for any events. I maybe went to 2 or 3 events the whole year. I didn't really do too much in terms of like coaching programs, maybe just 1 or 2 at the most. And I was more productive. I got more done because all I did was I focused on my business, and I realized that I don't need the latest and greatest cutting edge information. I just need to focus on what's working and do more of it. That's all I had to do. And that made a big difference in my year. And I think it was because I was not distracted. I had a lot of people that reached out and said, Robby, I haven't seen you at many events. Why is that? And one of the things that I realized was, well, because I need to focus on growing my business, right? Yeah, it's cool to go to an event in San Diego for a couple days, but guess what? That's 3 or 4 or 5 days that you could have spent on your business getting things done and moving the needle, right? And that's also why I said no to a lot of talking and speaking events, right? Because I was invited to speak at several events, and I said no this year, and the reason why was because I wanted to just focus on my business. And I probably will do the same thing in 2023 because I realized that I don't need more information to grow my business. I just need to focus on my business and keep doing what is working and do more of it. And so that's my advice for you as well. Sometimes you don't have to go to every single event, right? Sometimes you can just stay at home, focus on your business and grow your business, because you are going to be the biggest mover of that growth anyways. Another takeaway for 2022 for me was not so much on the business side of things, but more on the investing side of things. And so at the beginning of 2022, crypto markets were still very, very high. NFT markets are very, very high. And what did I do? Well, guess what? I did not cash out of those investments, right? So I ended up holding on for those, when it comes to the NFT projects, my Bored Apes, for example, with Bitcoin or Ethereum, I held on to all that as well. And which is fine, right? In the long run, I believe that those are still going to be going up. Probably in 2024. I don't think in 2023. I think it's gonna be a little shaky. But one of the things that I learned, and I would make, definitely next time around for the next bull market, for example, in crypto, I want to make sure that I actually cash out of those investments at the top, right, or close to the top, or wherever it is, right. And that's one thing that I've learned, and that's a tough lesson to learn sometimes, but you have to do it, right? I mean, does it bother me? No, because those investments, the money I put into those investments, is money that if I were to go to zero, it's not going to affect my life. But it's nice when it's at the peak, right? And so it's important to make sure that you cash out at the top when you can. And that's for anything, right? When it comes to real estate, if the market's high, that's also for business, right? If you're able to cash out and sell your business or whatever it is, then don't be afraid to do that, right? Because at the top is where a lot of people, they see the number at the top and they're like, I'm just gonna hold on and just hold on. Maybe they'll go even higher, right? And then eventually, guys, everything is cyclical, right? So what goes up must come down. And if you wait too long, it's gonna be tough to sell any asset you have, whether it's your business or crypto or whatever it is, right? So it's really important to remember that when it comes to investing, right? When things are up, don't be afraid to sell it. And that's what I should have done, because heck, if I had done that, oh my gosh, I would have had all this cash lying around where then I could be basically buying at these like bottom prices. And so, but next time, I'm gonna definitely not make that mistake, and you should definitely pay attention to that too. And finally, my last takeaway for 2022 is to embrace partnerships, right? So back in 2021, even before that, I was a big, kind of non-believer in, partnerships when it comes to businesses and stuff like that. And you have to be careful with partnerships because, if you're not, 50-50, if you're not bringing different stuff to the table, if you don't have different skill sets, then if you have the same skill set, it can clash, it can be very bad. But for me, in my main business, I don't have a partner, but in other businesses, other ventures now, I'm actually okay with partnering with the right people. As a matter of fact, this year, I probably partnered about 2 or 3 different people for various businesses that I'm involved in, and I'm glad I did it, right? And the reason why is because there's only so much time in the day, right? And I was able to integrate these businesses and help complement my other businesses so they all kind of seamlessly work together on stuff, right? So whether it's my spy software, whether it's my tracking software, whether it's another course that I'm involved in, right? That's one of the cool things about partnerships is it allows you to do more, right? And have different skill sets for each partner, which allows you to open up doors. And one of the cool things about it too is a lot of times people think with partnerships is that you're only getting like half of something, right? Well, that's okay, especially if you can grow that thing to millions of dollars, right? If you think half of a business is doing 10 million bucks, that's not too bad, right? And so that's one thing I would say as well, is if you're getting into, whether it's affiliate marketing or another business or, whatever it is, and you have the right skill set, look for somebody that will complement your skill sets and have the right mindset and have everything set up. And maybe a partnership could be the right thing to do too. So in 2023, one thing I'm looking for is more people that I can invest in and partner with to help grow their stuff, in addition to, growing my business. And so that's one thing I would definitely look for, and one big takeaway that I learned in 2022 that I'm gonna carry into 2023. And here's one more bonus takeaway that I think will be helpful for you that I learned in 2022, and that is good things take time. And they will take longer than you expected, right? So I've gone through this when it comes to a few business things I have going on in terms of, a supplement that we're releasing. It's just taking longer than I thought it would. It's nobody's fault, right? We are renovating a house right now, which is taking longer than I thought it would be to get it done, right? There's just a lot of things that happen and they just take a long time, right? Not because it's anybody's fault, it's just the way it is, right? So one of the biggest takeaways I've learned in 2022 is that good things take time and to practice patience, right? And do whatever you can to keep the ball rolling, but you have to, let go of those timelines. A lot of people, they're like, I have to do this much money in this amount of time, or I have to be this successful by this time or this age. And those are just kind of arbitrary numbers we set for ourselves to make us feel good. And that at the end of the day doesn't matter. As long as it gets done eventually, as long as everyone's doing what they're supposed to do. And I'm a big believer too, everything happens for a reason as well. So that's another big takeaway for me. And going into 2023, that's one thing I'll kind of keep in mind as well. And the reason why I'm going to keep that in mind is because as long as I realize I'm okay with that, and I'm all right with things taking longer than they should sometimes, that's fine, because I will be less stressed, right? I'll be able to go with the flow more, and I'll be able to do more stuff, right? Because one of the things I realized, okay, if this takes longer, well, that's fine, because I'll work on some other things while that's getting done, right? And so that's another takeaway that I've learned in 2022 that I will carry forward into 2023. All right, so there you have it. Those are some of the biggest takeaways I've learned this year in 2022, and I will be going forward in 2023 with that in mind. And I'll make sure I make those adjustments and changes so I can make 2023 even better than 2022. So let me know in the comments below how those takeaways were for you, if they helped you out, what your biggest takeaway is. I would love to know what it is. Let me know in the comments below. I'll talk to you soon. All right, so those are some of my biggest takeaways. Hopefully that helps you out, and hopefully you can apply some of those takeaways in your own business and your own journey. Now, if you like that video, then you're gonna love the free gift that I have for you in the description box below. It's a free training on how I helped over 14,000 people from all over the world have success using affiliate marketing in 3 simple steps. So make sure you check it out. Also, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And finally, hit the subscribe button, because every single week we pump out new content to help you have more success online. So that's it for me. I'll talk to you soon, and take care.